with the weather change and people feel under the weather, reminds me of my grandmother. My grandmother is still alive. She's 91 years old. And so come winter time, when people start to feel a little down, they come to my grandmother and she would give them the thing in the bottle. Mind you, growing up with my grandmother as a child, so we're talking not too much of a child, but teenager, you don't want to get sick, because whatever the remedy is for whatever's wrong with you, it's going to be so bad you don't want to get sick. So we would like pretend to be okay just so we don't have to take the medicine. So anyways, in the wintertime when the weather starts to get bad and people start feeling a little down, they come to my grandmother for the remedy. So the remedy was in a bottle and it was kept downstairs in our basement. And there were several bottles, okay? Several bottles of this thing. She'd give you a little drink of it and yeah. But this thing, let me tell you what it does. First of all, it burned like hell going down. The sucker burned. I mean, your chest, it's like someone put the sun and just stuck it in your chest, Then she'll tell you to go to sleep. And you go to sleep, right? And you would sweat in your sleep. I say you are sweating. You wake up, your clothes is wet, the sheets are wet, but you feel like $1,000,000. You feel freaking fantastic. So years later, I'm talking about in my 30s, I was talking to my uncle about it. And I was like, yeah, you remember grandma's remedy? He's like, you know what that was, right? I'm like, no, what was her remedy? What was in the bottles? Because it was bottles, it was kept in the basement, and there were some leaves or some tree branches in the bottle. He was like, he said that was white rum and ganja. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, white rum and ganja. Ganja for Jamaicans, the marijuana. I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. And so that's when it occurred to me. And before I told the story, I went to look it up. Well, I have a bottle of the white rum in my house, but I didn't know how to translate it to American alcohol. Anyways, the white rum, it's 63% alcohol by volume. And when I look that up and translate that into proof, 126 proof. So then I said to him, so wait a minute. So that's when it clicked in my head. I'm like, so I didn't wake up feeling better. I felt better because I was drunk and high. I was like, what? So all this time I thought my grandma had like the recipe for when you're feeling down and how to get you. No, you didn't feel better. You felt better. You weren't better. You just felt better because you were drunk and high and you didn't care about anything. But yeah, that was one of my grandmama's treatment. So yeah.